What if a billionaire had to become poor just to find true love? This is the story of a man who gave up everything to find someone who would love him for nothing. In a huge mansion made of glass and marble, Daniel Cole sat quietly by a window. He was only 32, but already one of the richest men in the country. He owned hotels, companies, and shopping malls. His house was like a palace, with 10 bedrooms, a swimming pool, a private cinema, and even an elevator. Everything looked perfect on the outside. But inside, Daniel felt something missing, a deep emptiness. No kids ran around, no wife called his name, no laughter echoed in the halls, just silence. Over the years, Daniel had dated many beautiful women, but all of them wanted one thing: his money. Some even asked him how much he would give them before going on a date. One said, "If I marry you, I want a car and a house first." Another demanded designer clothes every month. Daniel felt used, not loved. That night, Daniel sat at his long dining table, staring at untouched food. His best friend and assistant, Marcus, sat beside him. "I'm tired," Daniel said. "Tired of fake smiles, fake love. I want someone who sees my heart, not my bank account." Marcus nodded slowly. "But Daniel, with your face on every news channel, how will you find someone who doesn't know who you are?" Daniel looked up and whispered, "Maybe it's time to disappear." Marcus looked shocked. "Disappear? Are you serious?" Daniel nodded. "Yes, I want to live like a poor man for a while. No one will know who I am. I won't carry money, phone, or anything rich people have. I'll dress like a beggar and go to a place where no one knows me." Marcus rubbed his head. "But why? You have everything." "I don't have love," Daniel said. "Real love. I want to know if someone can care about me when I have nothing. No cars, no money, just me." Marcus tried to stop him, but Daniel had made up his mind. That night, Daniel opened his wardrobe. He took old jeans, a torn hoodie, and worn-out slippers. He rubbed some dirt on his hands and face, trying to look rough. He packed a small bag with a blanket, water, and just enough money for one meal. He left behind his credit cards, watch, and phone. Before stepping out, he turned back and looked at his big house one last time. "Goodbye, old life," he said softly. "I hope I return with something real." He walked out into the night. No bodyguards, no driver, just a simple man with a big hope. Daniel took a bus to a far, poor part of the city, a place filled with street vendors, broken homes, and tired faces. Daniel stepped off the crowded bus and looked around. This part of the city felt like another world. The streets were noisy. People shouted to sell fruits, clothes, and food. The air smelled like smoke, dust, and fried meat. Old buildings stood with broken windows. Children ran barefoot across the road. No one looked at Daniel twice. To them, he was just another poor man. For the first time in his life, Daniel felt invisible. He found a quiet corner near a dirty alley and sat down. He placed a small tin cup in front of him and then lowered his head. Hours passed. Some people walked by without looking. Others stared, then turned away. A few covered their noses and kept walking. "Go get a job," one woman shouted. Daniel said nothing. His back hurt. His hands were cold. His stomach growled from hunger. That night, he found a spot under a bridge where a few other homeless people slept. The ground was hard. Cars roared above his head. Rats ran close to his feet. He wrapped his blanket tightly around himself, trying to sleep. His heart was heavy, but he whispered to himself, "This is real life, and I need to feel it." He didn't know if he would last a week, but he refused to give up. It was Daniel's fourth day on the street. He had eaten only once in 2 days. His lips were dry. His legs were weak. He sat on the side of a dusty road, his back against a cracked wall. The tin cup in front of him was still empty. People passed without stopping. Some looked at him with pity. Others laughed. "Young man like you begging. Go and work," a woman shouted. Daniel lowered his head. He was too tired to reply. Then a soft voice broke the noise around him. "Hello?" Daniel looked up slowly. A young woman stood before him. She wore a simple yellow dress. Her skin was dark and clean. Her hair was tied in a bun. Her eyes were kind. "You look very hungry," she said gently. "Have you eaten today?" Daniel shook his head. She opened her small purse and looked inside. Then she sighed. "I don't have money with me, but please wait here. I'll go home and bring you food. Don't go, okay?" Daniel stared at her in shock. In days of begging, no one had spoken to him so kindly. "I'll wait," he said softly. She smiled. "My name is Lina. Don't forget, I'm coming back." Then she ran off down the road. Daniel watched her leave, a tear rolling down his cheek. 15 minutes passed. Daniel waited, just as Lina had asked. He didn't know why he believed her, but something about her felt different. She had spoken to him like a person, not like trash on the street. Then she returned. She was breathing fast, holding a small black nylon bag. Her smile was wide but gentle. "Sorry I took long," she said. "Here, I brought jollof rice and a piece of fish. I cooked it this morning." The smell hit Daniel's nose. Warm, spicy, fresh. His stomach growled loudly. He opened the bag and began to eat with his hands. Lina sat beside him on the ground. "Eat slowly," she said with a soft laugh. "Don't choke." Daniel nodded and smiled for the first time in days. When he finished, he looked at her. "Thank you," he whispered. "You're welcome," Lina replied. They sat in silence for a while. Then Lina asked gently, "Where do you sleep at night?" Daniel hesitated. "Under the bridge, with the other beggars." Her eyes widened. "That's not safe. People get robbed or hurt there." He shrugged. "I have nowhere else." Lina stood up quickly. "Wait here again. I'll talk to my mother. Maybe we can help." Before Daniel could respond, she was already walking away. Lina ran home, her heart racing. She entered through the back door and found her mother, Evelyn, in the small kitchen slicing vegetables. "Lina, where are you coming from?" her mother asked. "Mama," Lina said, still breathing hard, "I met a man. He's poor. He sleeps under the bridge. I gave him food, but I want to help more." Evelyn looked confused. "What kind of help? Let him sleep here, just for a few days. We have that small, empty room near the backyard." Evelyn frowned. "You want to bring a stranger into this house?" "He's not dangerous," Lina said quickly. "He's quiet, respectful. He needs help." Evelyn sighed and looked away for a moment. Then she whispered, "Don't tell your father." Lina's eyes widened. "Really? You'll allow it?" Evelyn nodded. "Your father listens too much to that second wife of his. If he finds out, he'll chase the man away and insult us. I don't want trouble. I understand." Evelyn gave clear instructions. He must stay in the small room. He cannot walk around during the day. Only come out when others are asleep or not home. "I promise, Mama." "Go back. Bring him, and quietly." Lina ran off again, full of hope. Evelyn stood by the window watching her go, heart full of fear, but also pride. Lina returned to the same spot. Daniel was still there, sitting quietly with the empty food bag beside him. "You're still here," she said, smiling. "I told you I'd wait," he replied gently. "Come with me," Lina said. "My mother agreed. You can stay in a small room at the back of our house. But there are rules. You must stay hidden. My father doesn't know." Daniel stood up slowly. "You're serious?" "Yes. Come quickly." They walked through quiet streets until they reached a small compound. Lina led him through the back, beside the kitchen, to a tiny room with a wooden door and a single window. Evelyn was already waiting. "So this is him?" she asked. Daniel lowered his head. "Yes, Ma. Thank you for helping me." "You can stay here," Evelyn said. "But remember, no noise, no walking around, and no talking to anyone else." "Yes, Ma, I understand." Lina went inside and returned with a bucket of water, soap, and a cloth for drying. Evelyn brought him a mat and a plate of food later that night. Daniel washed up, ate quietly, and lay on the mat, staring at the ceiling. For the first time in days, he felt safe, but not everyone was happy. From a window above, a pair of jealous eyes watched Lina sneak back inside. It was Vanessa, Lina's stepsister. Vanessa couldn't believe what she had seen. Her stepsister, Lina, bringing a strange man into their house? And at night? That wasn't just strange. It was scandalous. She waited a few days, secretly watching Lina's every move. Each morning, Lina would sneak food or water to the small back room. At night, she would quietly check if Daniel was okay. Vanessa told her mother, Madame Gloria. "Mama, I think Lina is hiding a man in this house," she whispered with a wicked grin. Gloria's eyes widened. "A man? In this house? Are you sure?" "Yes," Vanessa said. "I saw her with my own eyes." "Keep watching, we'll catch her," Gloria said. "And when we do, her mother will finally be thrown out." 2 nights later, Vanessa made her move. She waited until Lina left the room after dropping food. Then she walked quietly to the back and knocked softly. "Lina?" she said sweetly. Daniel, thinking it was Lina, opened the door. But it wasn't Lina. It was Vanessa, standing with folded arms and a fake smile. "So, it's true," she said. "You're the one Lina has been hiding." Daniel stepped back, confused. "Please, I'll leave if this is a problem." Vanessa smiled darkly. "Leave? Oh no, you're going nowhere." Vanessa stepped inside the small room and closed the door behind her. "You're quite handsome," she said, stepping closer to Daniel. "Your eyes, your skin. You don't look like a beggar at all." Daniel backed away, uncomfortable. "Please, I don't want trouble. You don't want me to tell my father, right?" she whispered. "Then do what I want. Kiss me." Daniel was shocked. "What? No, you don't even know me." Vanessa's face changed. Her smile vanished. "Fine, have it your way." She ran out of the room and screamed at the top of her lungs. "Help! There's a man in the house. He tried to touch me." Within seconds, the compound came alive. Lina's father rushed out with a stick, followed by Madame Gloria and shocked neighbors. Vanessa pointed at Daniel, crying fake tears. "That's him! He grabbed me!" Lina and her mother came running. "No!" Lina cried. "He didn't touch her. Vanessa is lying." Her father ignored her. "So this is the stranger you've been hiding? I'll teach him a lesson." He struck Daniel hard with the stick. Daniel fell back, covering his head. "Stop it!" Evelyn shouted, standing between them. "He did nothing wrong." "You brought shame to this house," her husband screamed. "All of you, get out." Lina held Daniel's hand tightly. "If he goes, I go too." Lina's father was furious. "You dare choose a beggar over your family?" he shouted. "I'm choosing someone who showed us respect." Lina replied, holding Daniel's hand. Someone who never lied. Her mother stood beside them, calm but firm. We are leaving. We don't need to live where we are treated like dirt. Good, Madame Gloria yelled. Take your trash and go. Lina packed a small bag. Her mother took some pots and plates. Daniel carried their things as they walked out of the compound. No money, no car, no clear plan. But they had each other. 30 minutes later, Evelyn stopped outside an old, quiet house at the edge of the town. This was my father's house, she said softly. It's been empty for years, but the roof still stands. The house was small, just 2 rooms, a kitchen, and a bathroom. The walls were dusty, but strong. Lina smiled. It's perfect. That evening, they swept the floors, washed the windows, and set up a simple place to sleep. Daniel sat on a wooden stool, looking around. It wasn't a palace, but for the first time, he felt peace. I'm sorry, he said. Because of me, you lost everything. Evelyn smiled. No, Daniel, we lost a prison. Now we have peace. Days passed in their new home. Life was simple, but peaceful. Every morning, Evelyn went to the market to sell vegetables. Lina helped her, and Daniel did small jobs, cutting grass, fixing windows, carrying heavy loads for neighbors. They had little, but they smiled more than ever before. One evening under the mango tree behind the house, Lina sat beside Daniel. You work so hard, she said, even though you have nothing. Daniel looked at her. I may not have money, but I have something I never had before. Peace, purpose, and you. Lina blushed, then whispered, Who are you really, Daniel? Daniel took a deep breath. It was time. I haven't been honest, he said. My real name is Daniel Cole. Lina frowned. Wait, the Daniel Cole? The billionaire? Yes, Daniel nodded. I left everything behind to find someone who could love me without knowing my name or wealth. Lina stood in shock. So you were never poor? I became poor on purpose, Daniel said, because I was tired of fake love. Lina didn't speak. She just stared, unsure if she should be angry or amazed. I'm sorry I lied, Daniel said softly, but your kindness was real, and now I know. So is your love. The next morning, Daniel said, I must return to the city. I need to speak to my father and prepare everything properly. I want to marry you, Lina. Lina's eyes filled with tears. But what if you don't come back? Daniel held her hands. I will. You changed my life. I won't forget you. He returned to the city and walked through the tall golden gates of his mansion. His father, Mr. Cole, was reading in the living room. Where have you been? He asked, surprised. Daniel told him everything, from disguising as a beggar to meeting Lina and her mother, and how they gave him shelter, love, and dignity. Mr. Cole listened, then smiled. She sounds like a rare gem. She is, Daniel said. I want to marry her. Then let's go ask for her hand properly. Together they traveled back to the village and visited Lina's father. Mr. Cole said respectfully, We've come to collect the marriage list for Lina. But Lina's father frowned. Number, you cannot marry her. Everyone was shocked. Why not? Daniel asked. In our tradition, her father said proudly, the first daughter must marry before the second. Vanessa must marry first. You want Lina? Then marry both or wait. Daniel's jaw clenched. I'm marrying Lina. No one else. Daniel and his father left the house in silence, hearts heavy with anger and disbelief. I'm not marrying Vanessa, Daniel said. I'll wait forever if I have to, but I'll only marry Lina. Mr. Cole nodded. You don't have to wait. I know someone who can help. an old school friend. He's a king now." They drove straight to the royal palace. It stood tall with golden gates and white walls. Inside, the king sat on a grand chair, wearing a long robe and a bright crown. "Blake Cole," the king smiled. "It's been years." They hugged like old friends. Mr. Cole introduced Daniel and explained everything about Lina, the tradition, and the father's refusal. The king listened carefully. "That tradition," he said, "used to exist, but it was cancelled a year ago. It caused pain, not peace. Any daughter can marry now, first or last." Daniel smiled with relief. The king stood and called his royal messenger. "Go to that man's house. Deliver this letter. Tell him the king has spoken." The next day, the letter reached Lina's father. It read, "By royal order, you are to allow your daughter Lina to marry the man she loves. The old tradition no longer stands. Disobey, and you disrespect the crown." Lina's father said nothing, but the battle was over. With the king's letter in hand, Daniel and Mr. Cole returned to Lina's home. Lina and her mother stood outside, waiting. Daniel smiled as he approached. "It's done," he said. "The king has spoken. We can get married." Lina gasped. "Really?" "Yes," Daniel said, holding her hands. "No more delays. No more fear." Her mother wiped away tears. God is good. Soon wedding preparations began. It wasn't just any wedding. It became the talk of the village. People couldn't believe that the same man Lina helped as a beggar was really a billionaire. The ceremony was beautiful. Bright decorations, soft music, and guests from all walks of life filled the compound. Lina wore a white dress that sparkled under the sun. Daniel stood tall beside her, dressed in a rich native outfit, smiling with pride. Mr. Cole gave a touching speech. "My son found love not in gold or diamonds, but in kindness and in truth." Even Lina's father came, silent and humbled. He gave a quiet nod of approval during the blessing. When Daniel and Lina exchanged vows, it felt like the world stood still. They were not just marrying each other. They were marrying each other's pain, strength, and journey. After the celebration, Daniel surprised Lina and Evelyn with a new home in the city, a mansion filled not just with wealth, but love. Not everyone celebrated the wedding with joy. Back in Lina's father's house, Vanessa and Madame Gloria were filled with rage. "That poor girl is now living in a mansion with a billionaire," Vanessa shouted. Madame Gloria slammed her hand on the table. "It should have been you. You're the first daughter." They packed a bag that night and left the village. They went to a nearby town to meet a feared native doctor. "If we can't stop them with words," Madame Gloria whispered, "we'll stop them with charms." But fate had other plans. On their way back, a storm rolled in. Heavy rain made the road slippery. The bus they were in lost control and rolled off the hill. By morning, the news was everywhere. 2 passengers had died on the spot, Vanessa and her mother. Lina's father sat alone on his bench under the mango tree, eyes full of regret. No wife, no daughters, just silence. He went to the city, hoping to ask for forgiveness. At the gate, Evelyn came out to see him. "Please," he said, kneeling. "Forgive me." Evelyn looked at him and said gently, "Some wounds can't be healed. We've moved on," he cried as she walked back inside. 1 year later, Lina and Daniel were blessed with twin boys. Their home was filled with laughter, peace, and love. And finally, Daniel whispered, This is what I was searching for."